This week on toDIYfor, I am tackling a project I did not want to do, but I kind of had to do it when my boyfriend texted me a photo of our broken coffee table. If you're wondering how it broke, he was using our coffee table chest as a bench to work out on. Yeah. Hey, I'm Janelle, and like I said, this is toDIYfor. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do new DIYs every single week. Most of the time, they're decor, things that you can actually use, room makeovers, and I do understand that this DIY is very specific to my circumstances, but I wanted to share it with you just to kind of show you that you can just get in there and like do it. I had no idea what the hell I was doing this entire time, but I still wanted to tackle this project and see if I could do it. And you know what? I'm pretty happy with the outcome. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. You can totally tell it's broken, but I think I did a pretty good job mending it for the time being. Now, the reason why this piece meant so much to me, you might see it and think, oh, that's just like an old steamer trunk, it's rusted, like it doesn't look good. Yes, that might be true. But this piece, I have loved since I bought it, and that was a couple of years ago. It's traveled across the country with me. There's this beautiful coffee table stored for my Christmas decorations. And when we moved here, we literally took that trunk and we based the entire decor in this room and like our dining room area off of it. Like, it is the thing. So the color of our accent wall matches it perfectly. I've got gold accents everywhere else, and I absolutely love it. So I was not willing to part with it, even though it probably cost me $35 when I bought it at the thrift store. So I decided to try and fix it. And boy, did I do a lot of things wrong. So we're just gonna get into this week's DIY. Okay, you saw the trunk, it's very broken. And here you can actually see that some of the wood somehow passed the other side of the wood, and I can't actually force it to go back to be level. So my idea here is to cut out that overlapping wood so that we can try and make this flat. So I'm doing this on the underside, and I'm using my multi-tool here. It's kind of like a reciprocating saw, and this is my first time using this tool, but I kind of drew out the pieces that I thought I needed to cut out. And I know this looks a little rough and aggressive. This is definitely in fast motion. I was being very careful and easy with this, but I did end up having to cut out a little bit more than I really wanted to. So we kind of did make an entire gap along this. And ultimately we were able to get these two boards to kind of lay flush. And it was at that point that I realized you're gonna need to have to cut this open on the other side. Don't know why I thought I could do this without doing this, but I gently and easily lifted off this cover, which I guess is kind of like a wallpaper. I totally thought it was vinyl. It was not. But as you can see, there's a ton of sawdust and wood chips all under there. There was no way I was gonna make this flat ever again. So I'm glad that I decided I needed to do that. And those cut lines, they're totally going to be seamless because I'm just gonna glue that back down. So on the underside here, I stapled what I could together. There's a lot of staples in there. It looks like Frankenstein, but it really did add to the strength of this, and it helped lift up that board to keep it as level as possible with the other board. So what I thought here was I'm going to use this spray foam. It's a great gap filler, and I thought that it would fill it perfectly. It looks like I'm over spraying there, but there is still a bit of a slope that I needed to fill in with something, and I thought that I could do that with the foam. So I also filled it in on the underside. I really do think this was a great product to fill those large gaps where the staples couldn't get together. It adds some structure to this. On the underside, after it cured, I just trimmed it off with a little hacksaw blade. All you really need is a serrated knife. I did end up using a steak knife afterwards because I found it to be a lot easier. So the thing is with this is that it was a lot more porous than I thought it was going to be. So as you can see, there's a ton of holes in there. Ultimately, it wasn't a good base for me to actually raise and lift up ever so slightly the side that I needed to. So I basically cut most of it off and sanded it away. But it did fill a good chunk of the original gap that we had there. So that's when I decided I'll use some spackle. Now, make sure you layer this. I made that mistake. It did not dry, so layer it evenly, slowly. And this is where I kind of felt like we were like a dentist, getting the suction and the grinder all going at once. It was very messy. But once I finally had all of my layers in, I sanded this down. You're going to go back in with some hand sanding, clean up your mess as best as you can, and try and make it as level as you can. I did not get it as level as I thought I did, but I did my best. So I ultimately decided to use spray adhesive for this. I thought that it would give the flattest, smoothest stick or whatever, I guess, with no gaps is what I was hoping, and it wouldn't be wet to wreck this kind of wallpaper material that we have here. So it told me that I needed to spray both surfaces, allow it to dry for just a little bit, and then lay it flat. So as you can see, I did one side at a time, kind of digging my nail in underneath that piece of metal to get those sides nice and glued down, and making sure that there's no air gaps in them. So I did the best I could. And when I got this together, unfortunately, the way it ripped, there was some brown showing from like the paper material and some green showing. So there was a little bit of overlap too. I sanded it down as finely as I could just along that ridge, and then I painted it. Now this paint color is actually the paint color that we chose thanks to this trunk, and it is the accent color in our room. I know it looks a little bit off there, but it dries a lot darker. It's still not quite the right color though. So I tried a variety of painting methods, as you can see, with a sponge and stippling it in, trying to feather it in. So what I ultimately decided to do, wipe down all of the paint that I had put on before it dried too deeply, and I just did the finest line I could along that edge. And in some angles, you don't even really notice it and you don't see it. It really depends on the lighting and the angle at which you look at the chest, but I'm happy that it's functioning. We can use it again as a coffee table. I get to keep this piece, and it doesn't look terrible in my opinion. Let me know what you thought of this DIY though, and I am possibly throwing around the idea of doing kintsugi. So that is the DIY that I did a while ago when I fixed some pottery. I know this isn't pottery, but that crack, if I filled it in with gold, yeah, it would stand out a whole lot more, but it is that Japanese form of showing that, broken things are beautiful. Let me know if you think that I should do that instead, or if I should just keep it the way I have it. Thanks, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will be back next week with a new DIY.